What is up, YouTubers? I'm kind of getting set up here, but I kind of wanted to show you guys some more stuff. I'm on a little bit of stuff I do. I'm prepping. Like I said, I know this is mostly tools and stuff, but with things the way they're happening, and it's with the hurricanes and stuff, I feel that for those of you people out there, just to be a little bit prepared. So I'll show you probably once or twice, maybe every couple of years. I package all of my supplies, different things in these containers. You can get them Home Depot. You can get the lid in that. I think $5 for it, and it's the best way. Just make sure you get the lids that are sealed tight. It's got a seal around here, and make sure that none of these are cut. I had to cut this one just a little bit because I could not get into it or get it open. And if you notice, each year I've crossed out, and I'll come back, and it tells what it is, the year I done it, and then what I usually do is when that year is over or whatever, I'll open it every couple years just to check to make sure. Like with this one, I'll cross this out, put this year's date and stuff in it, and like I said, this one you can see 10, 16, 2011. That's when I done this, and I've checked it, since then. I just didn't put the date on it, and I decided to go back this year and just check to make sure this stuff is still good. I vacuum sealed them. I use this little item here. This will vacuum seal the plastic. You can get one of the vacuum sealers. Also, and I told you wrong on that. That is for this type of bag. I don't have my vacuum sealer right now. But this one is to put this little seam around there. It makes a nice little seam. You've got a pouch that you can use. Open it up. You could take and put your item in. And I've done this with several of my other ones just because I wanted a double. I usually open this up. This is the little deal. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of these, guys. If you buy any product and things, a lot of times it'll have this stuff in them, and you can reuse them as long as they don't get wet or whatever. Sometimes this stuff does draw a little moisture in that, but it still does the trick. These, I just kind of fluff them up a little bit or whatever, get the stuff moving around in it and that, and then you just take this and you throw in the bag, and then you can put a seam here, write down what it is, and this container you can reuse a couple times if you do it right. And you can vacuum seal this if you want to, or being you've already got this one vacuum sealed, you're probably good to go. Me personally, I don't use these on some of my stuff like this. I just do it because this will not hardly go in. If you've got that in there, you can't get 4 or 5 of these in there. And I've got, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the oats in this one. I have taken these. Me and a buddy has taken these. Went out to his property. We have vacuum sealed and stuff. We've taken ammo, put in it. We have taken just different things. There was one time and he never thought of it. And you know, I told him, I said, well, you know, you probably won't have a metal detector if the crap hits the fan. So, you know, you really need to remember, or at least have a little map to where you buried this stuff, because, you know, it's going to grow up and things. And in particular, one spot we dug in a couple different spots. I mean, we found the stuff, but like I told him, in a bug out situation, you really need to know where that item is. And, you know, we buried it fairly deep to where, you know, if the rain or whatever, to make a long story short though, you can stick just about anything in these buckets and seal them. We had a plastic bag. A lot of guys like to use a plastic bag, you know, wrap them up a couple times in a plastic bag. Me personally, I don't like that. When my father had passed away, he had done a lot of stuff that way. And if we would have had to use some of the rice and stuff that he had wrapped, you know, we could have ate it. But, you know, it would have been not, you know, I would have preferred not to, because the bag deteriorated. You know, it turned the bags that it was in, you know, you just, it was all this kind of, you know how a bag falls apart when it's getting, you know, when it starts separating stuff. And, you know, if I'd have had to eat it, I would have. But it was just one of them items. I chose not to keep it, because he, in my opinion, he didn't prepare it right. And I, you know, I had plenty of these bags that he could have put them in, and I'd give him some. But this is the way to go, guys. This, or the good vacuum sealed bags. Like I said, this is 2011. I mean, you know, and this is still good. I mean, I would not be afraid to eat these oats, you know, if nothing else. I know you're going to get sick of it, but, and you could do different things, you know, your oats, your grains, your, go out there and buy flour. Go out there and buy rice. You could, you know, vacuum seal them like I did here and that, and, you know, you'll have at least a little bit that you could take these buckets and throw in the back of your truck if you got to go, you know, have them ready, you know. That's just the main thing. You know, and another deal, and see, this is what I like about these, because that is sealed now. There's no, I mean, this can get moved around, banged around. You can throw it in the back of your truck if you're in a hurry. You got a handle. You know, if you want to take it somewhere, put it on your property in a building, you don't even have to label it. You could put, you know, make it, put a paint bucket or whatever and disguise it if you have to, you know. It's the simple things that a lot of people don't think about. You know, and I would say 6 months to 2 years, because, you know, you don't know the way things are going with these hurricanes and stuff. You know, you may be down and out, and at least if you're in a campground or you can move around to different places, hopefully you'll be able to do that and be able to take this. If not, you can pull this out and just grab one of your bug out bags, throw some stuff in it, put it back, just remember where it is, bury it, and move on. And if you have to, you can come back around and get it. Just remember where it's at, or make some type of map or whatever. It's just a thought, guys. I know a lot of people buy bottled water and stuff. That's all good. I like to buy them in the little boxes. You can get the water, you know, you can tear it, drink, and go. These will fit in your bug out bags or whatever. And also what I like about them is, if I want to, I can separate them in my bug out bag or whatever, and I can throw a bunch of these in here. I can close this up once again, take my little handy melter and melt this, and you know, I got enough water here for you know, a little while. And you know, if you're in a ration situation also, you know, you could give these out, you know, to whoever, and you know, there's a ration of water. You know, it's just one of them things that I kind of just thought I'd throw this out here this morning. I was, you know, getting some stuff ready, and I was working on a couple of my bug out bags and things, and I had watched one of H&H's. If you guys haven't had a chance, go watch some of his stuff on his channels and that. He's got some good pointers and things. You know, there's stuff in a couple of his videos I never even thought of. You know, and that's what we're all here for, is to help one another out, help, you know. It's going to come a time to be, you know, you're going to have to be aware of your surroundings. You know, and if you can, you know, get with others, because, and you know, this was kind of brought to me the other day or the other night. You know, you're not going to be able to do it on your own. I think you need 6 to 7 adults. You know, whether you believe it or not, you know, you can't do it 24/7 all around the clock, especially to, you know, protect, you know, what's to come. You know, I hate to talk negative. I hate to be, you know, a bearer of bad news, but we're living in some times that I truly believe that we're living in the latter days. Like I said, for those of you that want to believe it, you know, that's fine. But you know, I myself, I don't get that much sleep. My brain goes constantly. I don't shut down. You know, there's a lot to it. You know, I've kind of asked God for guidance, and you know, He kind of the other night, I think, answered my question for me. You know, it was one of them nights I couldn't sleep or whatever, and basically He said, you know, you're going to be like a watchman, and you know, you're going to have to do it in shifts, and somebody's going to have to take your day shift. But there's a lot of people that don't have the stamina and stuff for the nights and that. And for some reason, I've always been, you know, if I get 3 to 4 hours worth of sleep, I'm good to go. You know, I wouldn't want to do that day in and day out, but there's times, you know, like on the weekends and things, I do shut down. But most of the time, I'm awake. You know, that's just something that I've been, I don't know if it's a blessing or what. You know, I thought a lot of it, you know, I thought a lot had to do with, like, you know, I like to drink my Mountain Dews and things, and I'd cut back on them. You know, I cut out pop totally for a while, and that didn't help. And, you know, just think, guys, the ones of us that don't sleep, and I'm just putting this out there, it's, you know, it may just be me, and, you know, I just feel that, you know, we're going to be the ones that are going to have to take over when others can't, you know, during the day. That's the bottom line. The ones of us that don't sleep at night, and that, you know, maybe it's a blessing. It's just been one of them things I've been thinking about mentioning, because I know there's other people out there that don't sleep at night. I hear a lot of people saying that their, you know, their mind don't ever shut down and things, and it's not a bad thing. You know, I'm one that I don't like to take a lot of medicines. You know, my wife and mom kind of worry that, you know, you don't get enough sleep. Oh, you need to take NyQuil. You need to. It's just one of them things that I'm really not that worried. You know, I do things at night, and I guess my mind just don't shut down, and I research different things, and that's probably a good thing. But I got sidetracked, and I'm sorry, guys. I only have a few more things that I want to go into on this. Another thing, I'd watched a couple other videos and I noticed several of them that didn't, a lot of the guys didn't talk a whole lot about, but I think you need some good electrical tape. And I mean, I'm saying like the 3M stuff. I'm not talking about the stuff you go to Harbor Freight and buy. I'm not impressed with that stuff. I've got some. It just don't seem like it works when it gets wet, or it works very well on different things. I prefer the 3M. It's not that much more expensive. You can get on Amazon, different places, and buy it. You can use it for a lot of different things. I can't find my duct tape, but you guys know what duct tape is. Get a good quality duct tape. That's another thing I think you need. Rubber gloves. You don't know if you're going to be helping somebody, or, somebody's bleeding or whatever, and you don't want to infect it, and you don't want to be infected. You definitely need, if you can, make you a separate bug out bag for all of your medical supplies. And if you have the chance, or you can get the chance, the more that you know, and I'm checking into it, but go to your local schools or whatever that's around. If you can get any medical training at all, you're going to be better off than the average person. That's one thing, it's going to be your weight, worth your weight in gold. I also am going to do a couple videos, I think, on, and you guys tell me, I've got a couple old lawnmower blades and things. I'm going to make an axe. I'm going to make a knife out of the old lawnmower blades and show you guys. I'm going to try to, temper them and that, and I'm in the process right now, and I don't know if I'm going to do the video on it, because I kind of want to get it done, but I'm taking an old butane torch and making a kiln type deal to where you can temper your steel and that. I've seen guys take, and you can get on a lot of the YouTube, and they'll show you how to take old files and things, melt them down, make your own metal and stuff. So if you have some old files and things, you might consider that. That's just, another option. Guys, I'm telling you, we're going to have to go back to the basics. I think the ones of us that are mechanically inclined, that are mechanics, things like that, we're going to be worth our weight in gold, because there's people out there that don't have a clue on some of this stuff. And, whether they want to believe it or not, it's going to go back to the times that our ancestor had, and there's not a lot of people out there that know how to grow food, so the farmers are going to be, very, very, and that's another thing, guys. I didn't bring it out here. I was going to, but, think about vacuum sealing some seeds. Get the good seeds. Don't, just buy the hybrids and all that. Get the old school type seeds, because you're going to need them. You're going to have to grow that, and that may be all you have for food. Any animals, goats, chickens, stuff like that, you need to have that stuff, because you're not going to be able to go out and get it. You may be able to trade bullets or whatever for it, but in my opinion, the bullets and stuff's going to be worth their weight in gold also. And if you can, what I've been told from other preppers and things, that you need to be at least 9 miles away from a major road, just any highway, anything. That's a substantial amount, a ways away, but they claim the average person is not going to walk the 9 miles off of the main. They're going to stay on the main road to, pilfer, whatever. So just keep that in mind. If you're on the coastal lines and things, guys, my suggestion to you, and research it. Don't listen to me. I would get out of the coastal areas. There's a U.S. Navy map out there right now. If you'll go on YouTube, look up the U.S. Coastal Navy map. It pretty much shows, where our water level and things are going to come up to. I don't think it's too far off. I know my uncle, before he had passed, he had said, he was a sailor and things, and he had seen, several maps on this, and he couldn't stress it enough to us. The areas that was a safe zone is what he called. He was always afraid to say anything because he was afraid, somebody'd come after him or whatever. But before he had died, he had kind of let the cat out of the bag, and he said, I know my time is short, so you really need to research it. So I started checking into it. That's just an option, guys. Like I said, I'm going on the stuff that I know and what I've been told. Like I said, we're living in a time that I think we're going to see a lot in our lifetime. And if you're not prepared, and if you're one of them guys sitting there laughing and tee-heeing, and I've got family members that's laughing at me. It hurts sometimes, but you know what? Oh well, when they're out there begging, and pleading with me, I don't know what to tell them, except, remember when you laughed, and it's all right for me to spend my money that I don't make that much of right now. And they've got plenty of money. They just went out and bought a new boat, a new truck. But what good is that if it's all gone tomorrow, and that's the other thing. I think that you really, the ones of us that are preparing in that, I feel we're right with the Lord. And that's the main thing. You're going to have the faith. Because if you don't keep the faith, people, I don't know what to tell you. I know several people that's been in war camps and things, and they, that's what they've all told me. If it wasn't for my faith, I don't know how I'd have made it through. And that's what you're going to have to remember. There's hard times coming, and if you guys can't see it, then I don't know what to tell you. The material things, I think, are going away. I think we're going to have to go back to the basics. And, I'll be the first to admit that, I fell into that trap. And I wished I would have kind of listened to myself or whatever. And I've known this for years, and I put a little back here and there, but I could have done a lot more. I could have told a lot more people. I feel guilty for not, telling a lot more people. It was one of them things when I was doing it and preparing when I worked in the factories and things and tell people, I kind of got the horse laugh. I was always told that, this is never going to happen. It's just one of them things, and I know this is a long video, but just please be prepared. I'll get back on track. If you know anything about ham radio, CBs and stuff, I've got a couple old CBs and that, but you're going to have be self-sufficient. You're going to have to use solar, some kind of other power, because I don't think, I think our power grid's going to be, it's going to be strained, and we'll be lucky if we have power. If you have horses and things like that you can, mules, that you can move around or whatever, that's going to help. Like I said, I think we're going to go back to the horse and buggy days, guys. There's a possibility that I think your older vehicles, and that's what I'm in the process of doing, looking for a vehicle that you can have multi-fuel, also one that probably, I would say, maybe the 6 volt or something like that you will be able to use if there is I think they call it EMT or EMP, whatever it is. You guys know what I'm talking about. But that's the only thing that's going to be able to go, I believe. Yeah, and I don't know if y'all can hear it. Once again, the garbage man's here today, so I apologize. But there's just different things that you need to be prepared, because you're not going to be able to go into town, go in and get your supplies. You know, we may have to go back to the old trading posts and things, because I think if you don't, you're going to be in the situation to where people are, you're just going to have to be protected. You know, I'm not going to go any farther. I just feel that, you know, you're going to have to change your lifestyle. You know, there's people out there, like I said, that's not going to believe it, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of thumbs down and a lot of different attitudes. But, you know, I know what I know. I believe what I'm telling you guys. We're here for a short time, and you know, hopefully the stuff I showed you today will help you. I just wanted to kind of go over some of the stuff I did, you know, how I prepared, how I did some of my stuff, and just go from there. You know, we're living in some times that, you know, with the West Coast and with these other 2 hurricanes coming in, you know, I see the whole Florida and all up through there all underwater. You know, what's next? You know, the West Coast, you know, it's all happening so fast. You know, go out there and research the Planet X. You know, they say that, you know, there's a new planet out there and it's Planet X. Well, in my opinion, that's wormwood, what they tell you in the Bible. Read your Bible. It's got the blueprint right there for you guys. And, you know, if you can't see it, or you don't believe it, or if you're like some of my family members, they don't want to face the facts, and, you know, they're dear to my heart. And, you know, it's hard when somebody don't believe in you, and they can't see the forest for the trees. And, you know, I don't know what to say. I just tell you guys, please be prepared. Thanks for watching my videos. Hopefully this information is going to be useful for some of you. You know, I went a little fast. I talked a little fast. All I can say is, you know, be prepared. God bless. Have a blessed Wednesday. And just hang in there, guys, and just keep the faith. Thank you very much.